Órale, Cholo Chuck, los tres chingones, boxing shots, all the chingones y chingonas. Hold on, let me pull myself up a little bit more here. All right. What's up, Cortega Cafe? All right, man. So just kind of a surprise kind of pop-up live here. Simply because we're not gonna be able to go live um tomorrow. So um yeah, man. I got a few things going on. I know David's got a few things going on. Mikey's got a few things going on. So hopefully we could come back next Friday and the whole crew will be back together, man. But yeah, we're not gonna be able to go live tomorrow. So I'm like, you know what? Let me jump on right now. I got a little bit of time. Let me jump on right now, man, and tap in with everybody and talk a little bit about what's been going on. Even though there's probably not like a lot of big fights going on, there's a lot to talk about, Holmes. And I'm like, man, I don't want this just to grow cold, man, because one of the things is um what went down with the New York State Athletic Commission. Um Basically just ruling it that hey, it was the referee's discretion and they're just gonna stick with it. And I'm just kind of like, good gosh, man. This is this is a little bit right here now where it's almost like I'm almost kind of rooting for the Turk to monopolize boxing as much as he possibly can. Because I mean there's no way to justify this. It's clear, it's clean, it's simple. You could see everything what happened. I know there was a malfunction. I mean that's what they said. There's a malfunction as the fight was going on, but there's no malfunction now. You could take your time. You could watch everything. You could see exactly what he did, and what he did was take a knee under his own volition. He gets up, abandons the fight by running to his corner, illegally gets towed off by his corner. There's no malfunction of the cameras now. If there was at that time, that's fine. But now there's no excuse anymore. And you went ahead and you did not do the right thing and you left it. What'd you say? Under the referee's discretion. We're just going to let it stand. What's up, JC? Which is, as we all know, complete BS. Complete BS. And because now they're allowing for it just to stand, now I don't mind if they fire the referee. I mean, if that's the way it's going to go, homie, if it's going to go to the fact where doesn't matter what it is, if a fighter decides to jump out of the ring and get a little bit of assistance and then roll back into the ring, as long as the referee lets it go, oh well, so be it. I mean, this was the chance for the New York State Athletic Commission to do what needed to be done when the referee makes a mistake. But instead, they're going to just say, no, you know what? The referee's discretion. All right, cool. We're just going to rock with it. Well, if you're going to give the referee so much power like that, where you're not going to overturn anything, because this was right in your face. This was right in your face. There is no, well, you know what? It's a little bit chalky. I don't know, man. You don't really get a good view. I don't know, man. He probably got a little bit pushed down. There's nothing. It is crystal clear what happened. It couldn't be any more clear. It's as clear as it gets. He takes a knee, he backs up, takes a knee, then he runs, like I said, abandons the fight. which I've seen referee Jack Reese, when a fighter has turned his back like that, I've seen referee Jack Reese wave the fight off. And when the fighter turns back around, like, no, I'm ready to fight. He's all like, no, you abandoned the fight. You abandoned the fight. And then illegally gets towed off by his corner. And this was your time. This was your time to do the right thing. So what the heck are you there for? What the heck are you reviewing? Because it couldn't be any more clear. Why even go through the trouble and even saying that you're going to review anything? You actually look worse now. You just said from the jump, you know what? We're just going to leave it as it stands. We're not going to review anything. We had a camera mount function, a replay mount function at the time, but we're just going to leave it what Steve Willis called. We're not going to mess with it. I mean, that would look bad already. That would look bad already. But the fact that you took the time to say, you know what? We're going to review this, Holmes. We're going to take a close look at it. And you took days to review this. Just to come back and then say, we're going to just leave it at the referee's discretion. Then what the heck were you reviewing for? It couldn't be any more clear. What are you reviewing? And why? You were better off just saying, we're not going to review anything. We're just going to leave it as stands. We're putting the trust in the referee. The referee made the call. We're going to stick with the referee's call. You look much worse now by coming out and saying, like, we're going to review it. For what? That is one of, if not the worst call in boxing. But now I guess, there are talks that a rematch is going to happen. Of course, it's not done yet, but apparently it's almost done. I don't know what the heck that's supposed to fix. It's not supposed to fix anything. And I wonder, had Tank Davis won that fight, would they have reversed it? Had Lamont Roach won that fight, would anybody even be upset about it? The fact that it was a draw is what put everybody right in the middle, like, okay, what's going to happen? Because in reality, if Lamont Roach won that fight, I don't think a lot of people would be upset about it. I think most people would be like, oh, that's BS. But I don't think people would be really upset about it. Because Lamont Roach won. If Tank Davis won, then people would be upset, like, hey, you got to rule that a knockdown and probably make it a draw. But the fact that it was a draw, like, oh, you know what? Lamont Roach could become a winner here. It's just, it's incredible to me, dog. It's incredible to me. This is one of the reasons. This is one of the reasons why I'm somewhat rooting for the Turk to monopolize boxing. Because this is as stupid as it gets. What's up, Conrad? This is as dumb as it gets. It can't get any dumber. Like I said, if I was part of the New York State Athletic Commission, and if we knew that we were not going to overturn this, I would have said, hey, guys, you know what? Let's just say we're not going to review it, and we're just going to leave it as stands. We're going to leave it at the referee's call. Why are we going to say that? We're going to review it for what? Let's just say, you know what? We're just going to stand with the referee's decision. Hopefully they make a rematch and they could figure it out that way. Yeah, we'll still look like the bad guys, but this makes it look a heck of a lot worse. Because you took a whole week reviewing it, which in reality, Holmes, it takes you just a few seconds to see what happened. It doesn't take you a whole week. All these, all these outside parties, all these sanctioning bodies, all these third parties and everything is one of the reasons why I'm kind of hoping this whole, thing works out with the Turk. And I say, while I'm rooting for it, I do have, my cautions with it as well. I do have my reservations with it as well. I'm not 100% diving in gun ho saying like, yeah, this is exactly what I want. No. I'm proceeding with caution as well. But when stupid things like this happen, and this is probably one of the dumbest things I think I've ever seen in boxing. How the heck could this be a commission? Where you take a week to review something that you could make your mind up in just a few seconds. And then you come back with just, you know what? We're going to stand with the referee's call. What the heck? That is the dumbest thing. This is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in boxing, man. This is one of, gosh, I'm really, going in my think tank to think. I've been watching boxing since I could remember I was alive, right? There's two things that I've been watching since I could remember I was alive: boxing and wrestling. And I'm really trying to think what matches up to this. Now, I've seen some crazy things in boxing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about riots in boxing. I'm not talking about Fan Man coming down to Caesar's Palace. I'm talking about stupid things like this. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of one. What's up, Tony? Appreciate that, brother. So, good gosh, man. So apparently there's going to be a rematch, and I've already said it, and I'm going to say it again. If there's a rematch, I believe Tank Davis wins that rematch. I do. I don't think Lamont Roach can do any better than he did at that fight. I think that's as good as he can do, but I think Tank can do a little better. What's up, D? Unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. Definitely need a little bit more structure in boxing to get rid of some of this stupidity. Because in reality, nobody's going to answer for it. Who's going to go? Does anybody even know how to go contact the New York State Athletic Commission? Who's going to go settle their hash? Who's going to say like, hey, let me go give these vatos a piece of my mind, man? Oh, man, this makes them look bad. Okay, it makes them look bad, but do you even know how they look? Do you even know how they look like? If one of them is walking down the street, do you know who he is? Yeah, it makes them look bad, but nobody even knows who these guys look like. So there's no real image there that's really going to be tarnished. And the rematch will happen. And then, eventually everybody will just kind of forget about it. This will go down in history, of course. But there's no names. It's just the New York State Athletic Commission. That's it. There's no names behind it. There's no pictures. There's no anything. It'd be cool if somebody starts exposing some of these dudes' faces, some pictures, some names, and everything of that sort. But anyway, man, that's one thing. Speaking on that, before we move on, sticking to the whole Tank Davis Lamont Roach thing, the numbers are back, and the numbers are a little bit wavy. From what I understand, the numbers landed anywhere between 100 to 150,000 buys, right? I'm gonna be real with you guys, man. It did better than I thought it was gonna do. It did. I thought it was gonna do under 100K, but it did do better than I thought it was gonna do. And Tank, usually he's somewhere in that range, probably flirts around a little bit more towards the 200K buy. So maybe it was a little bit low for him. I think usually he somewhat hangs around between 150, 200, somewhere around in that area. So it was a little bit of a step down. It was somewhere between 100 and 150, which, like I said, I thought it was to do worse than that. I thought it was to be bad. Honestly, man. I mean, if those numbers were true for Riyadh season with the revancha, right, with the rematch between Bivol and Beterbiev, I thought it was probably going to be somewhere around there. And you're talking about an $80 pay-per-view against Lamont Roach. Now, you had some pretty, decent stuff in the undercard, but it did pretty. It did. I'm not gonna say it did good. I'm not gonna say it did decent. All I'm saying is it did better than I thought it was gonna do. That's all I'm saying. And by the way, you know who wins in all of this with the whole controversy? The one that wins in all of this is Tank Davis, right? Because it was just accepted, his behavior in the ring, taking the knee, going and getting towed off. Steve Willis just having a conversation with them. Okay, well, just tell me next time. This being a draw, all this controversy around it. Now this rematch happens. This fight is going to bring in double, maybe even more to this next pay-per-view. Now this next one, I do believe, makes over 200K. I do think it makes over 200K, this rematch. Should it happen, which from, word on the street is it's going to happen. What's up, Taiwan? So he wins out of this. I mean, Lamont Roach, sure, he's going to get a little bit of a bigger payday. Kudos to him. But yeah, that's this fight. Tank won in all of this. Yeah, Tank Roach too. Yeah, Tank won in all of this. He won in all of it. Because this rematch is going to make more money. And I don't think Roach can do any better than he did in the first fight. I do pick Tank Davis to win the rematch. So, anyway, man, moving on from that subject, I mean, gosh, dog, that sucker is ridiculous. I can't believe it, but oh well, man. Oh well. Son of a bastard, Holmes. All right, hey man. Moving on from that, did you guys see the return? The return that everyone has been waiting for. I know you guys were waiting for it. I know you guys were waiting for it. You guys were waiting at the edge of your seats for the return of Keith One-Time Thurman, baby. Oh, yes. Since 2017, this guy has fought 5 times. This dude is active. I know you guys were watching Keith One-Time Thurman, man. He went to the Thunder Down Under. Went down there with the kangaroos and the koala bears. So this definitely flew under the radar, right? And because nobody picked it up. Amazon didn't pick it up. Nobody picked it up. You were able to watch it. You could watch it today. It's for free. You were able to watch it for free on YouTube, on PBC through YouTube. I'm subscribed to the PBC on YouTube, so it came up. And I didn't bother watching any of the other fights. Okay, I only watched that one. He fought some dude, Jarvis. I never heard of him. I knew this fight was coming up, but even though I knew this fight was coming up, I'll be real with you guys, I forgot about it until I got the alert. And I'm like, oh, smokes. That's right. Keith One-Time is down in the Thunder Down Under, man. When it's summer up here, it's winter down there. So I'm like, okay. He looked amazing. One time. All right. So Keith One-Time Thurman goes down there, finds this dude, Jarvis. I've never heard of him, but oh well, it's Australia. I don't know. I guess he's a big star. I'm not sure if he's a big star or whatever. They're just rooting for him because he's Australian. I'm not really sure. But Keith One-Time Thurman goes down there, makes easy work in this dude, stomps him, I believe, in the 3rd round. Just landing some vicious shots, man. And of course, at what is he, 36 years old or something like that? He comes out and says, One-Time is back, baby. I've heard that before. And then he just fades away. Is there fights that I want to see Keith Thurman in? Honestly, yeah, there is. There's certain fighters, and I'm not even really sure if boxing fans mean this when they say, like, oh, I'm done with this fighter. Oh, I'm done with that fighter. Oh, I don't want to see that fighter anymore. Oh, I don't want to see that guy anymore. I'm not sure if everybody's really honest when they say something like that. Would I like to see Keith Thurman in a fight? Yeah, I would. So there's a certain plan. Spence fight would make sense. They talked about that. He looked like 2011 Thurman. I mean, yeah, look, against that opponent, he looked good. He looked good against the man that was standing across the ring from him, who I don't know who the heck he is, but nonetheless, he made him look good. I want to see him with everybody. So after the fight, so you got Sean Porter calling the fight down there. You got Tim Tszyu down calling the fight down there. And apparently, the whole plan is to have Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu. If you guys remember, Tim Tszyu was supposed to fight Keith Thurman once upon a time. But of course, Keith Thurman gets injured like he always does. and the Tim Tszyu fight, the fight fell apart. But apparently now the plan is for Tim Tszyu. He's got a fight coming up. He's going to fight Joey Spencer, which I like Spencer, but he's a decent fighter. All right, he's a decent fighter. If Tim Tszyu still has it in him, right? Because Tim Tszyu is coming off of 2 losses, even though I truly believe he would have beat the dog doo-doos out of Sebastian Fundora if it wasn't for that nasty cut. But if Tim Tszyu still has it in him, which just seeing him there, seeing him talk and everything, it looks like he still got fire inside of him. Tim don't want that. Hell no. It looks like Tim still has some fire in him. So I'm like, okay, I believe Tim Tszyu will beat Joey Spencer. So the plan is this. Okay, have Tim Tszyu beat Joey Spencer and then have Tim Tszyu versus Keith one-time Thurman, make that fight happen. Does that go down exactly as planned? Heck, it's boxing, man. I don't know. Now people are saying like, hey, what about Thurman versus Spence? That's a fight that we never got. And see, here's the thing. This is what I talk when I talk about boxing fans, right? We're like, I don't want to see that. You know, that should have happened like 6 years ago. I don't want to see that anymore. I don't want to see that. Well, here's where I stand. We can't see that fight 6 years ago. So it's either see it now or never see it. And if I had a choice, I'd rather see it. Would I have liked to see it before when they were in their prime? Yes. But that's not an option anymore. So if you make it not now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Should they, build this sucker up like it's a huge pay-per-view? Of course not. Could you have done that before? Probably. So I'm not against it. I'm not against that at all. You want to make that fight? I'll be there. I'll be tuning in. I'll be watching. I'll be enjoying it. But see, that's the thing with boxing fans, dog. It's just like, I don't want to see that. That's it. They're way past their prime. Good. They're both past their prime. Put them in the ring. Make it happen. We can't go back in time. So, shoot, do it now. Heck, didn't you watch Roy Jones Jr. versus Mike Tyson a few years back when Snoop Dogg was calling the fight? Tank Thurman 2026. Heck, put it on an undercard, man. Put it on a co-main event. That's fine. So, I mean, Keith Thurman, look, he looked good. At the same time, who the heck is he fighting? I don't know. But he looked good, man. Do I think he can get in there against, 154 right now has a lot of monsters, homie. And I don't think Keith Thurman can stand in there with a lot of these dudes. So, I mean, he looked good for whatever, competition he had. It was fun to see. He came back with a bang, with a knockout, like he was, I guess he was supposed to. I'm not even really sure who was favored in that fight. I don't know anything about this other guy, this Australian guy. Taiwan. Tank, I think we'll see what happens after the rematch. Because from what I hear, that rematch between Tank and Roach is just about done. It hasn't been announced yet, but from what I understand, This time next week, I think we'll have an answer. I could be wrong. It's boxing, you know. Boxing's a straight roller coaster, man. And you're riding the roller coaster with a blindfold on, so you never know which way it's gonna go. But anyway, man, I just want to congratulate Keith. Keith, one time, sometime Thurman. He came back. He did what he was supposed to do, and from what I understand, he got a big payday. From what I understand, he got over $1 million to go down there to fight this nobody and just showcase. Like, damn, that was a sweet deal. And we've heard this from Keith Thurman before. We've heard this from him before. I'm back. Keith one time is back, baby. And then we never see him again. Or we have to wait like another 2 years to see him again. So do we see him fight again? Honestly, probably not, man. Maybe he does. Even if Tim Tszyu beats Spencer, maybe Keith Thurman still just rides off into the sunset. He made a nice little payday. Heck, he only got one loss against Pacquiao. I don't think he wants to get another one. If we could just come in, get a good knockout, which he did, make a little over $1 million. I don't think he wants to get in there with Tim Tszyu. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm not going to hold my breath. I don't think we see Keith Thurman again this year. Maybe not even next year. Because that's how he rolls. All right, so that will get the people talking, especially since he said he only has 4 or 5 fights. Yeah, you know, the problem with that is, Taiwan, is the fact that that's why I was talking about. That's why I said what I said. You're right. That gets the people talking. Well, he doesn't need a bigger opponent right now because all this controversy is what got the people talking. All this controversy, that's what got the people talking. So at the moment right now, he doesn't need a bigger opponent. He just needs Lamont Roach. Or I think people would tune into his next fight just to see what happens. I think the controversy helps Tank Davis sell his next fight. Let me see. I think Thurman testing the waters he's looking to cash out Crawford or something. I think he's looking for, you know, low risk, high reward as much as he possibly can. Like that's what this fight was. This fight was low risk, high reward. Who the heck is paying this fool over $1 million to go fight this guy that nobody's ever heard of? I never knew this dude existed. Yeah, after Roach, yeah, after Roach, because once that rematch happens, then that's it. You know, the selling power is going to go down on Tank again. Hey, man, I got a few more minutes. I want to go ahead and talk about I was on the phone today with my boy Bobby Garcia. You guys know I'm friends with Ryan Garcia's oldest half brother, right? We're talking today, and we're gonna have a big party for the fight coming up. Look, this, as much as everybody wants to criticize that this is a clown show, that this is dumb, that this is all kind of, you know, WWE stuff, which, by the way, I am a huge WWE fan. I'm telling you guys this, man. I love this. I love this. This is exactly the shot in the arm that needs to happen here in the good old US of A, baby, when it comes to boxing. Because it's been dead. It's been like for true boxing fans, that's one thing. But we all know popularity sells. And in this card, you don't have a Jake Paul. You don't have, you know, these YouTubers. You don't have any of these dudes. You have actual real boxers. Yeah, you could say they're a bunch of payasos. You know, they're a bunch of payasos. They're a bunch of clowns. but they are actual true boxers. And if there's someone I want to thank, I want to thank one Mr. Teofimo Lopez, man, because he's putting on a show. Hate the guy all you want. He's making this so damn entertaining. And by the way, the dude can fight. He could fight. This card is a good shot in the arm of just it being fun. The back and forth on social media when Ryan told Rolly Romero, Ryan told Rolly, know your place. You are there to be funny. So just be funny. I am so down with this card, Holmes. All right, Taiwan, have a good one, brother. Guys for tapping in. I'm so down with this card, man. So I'll be watching this card with the Garcia family that is not going to New York. I'm loving this card. Shout outs to Arnold Barbosa, to Teofimo Lopez. I mean, they're the ones, they're not even the co-main event, but they're the ones that are making this the most entertaining to watch. Let's go ahead and let's pop this up right here. Here, let me remove myself. You got Todd Grisham right here. Todd Grisham, he actually used to do commentary for the WWE. Let's check this out.
To have the fighters give us their stare down.
The underdog, being the fighters, he's ready for this moment.
The takeover, Lopez.
All right, what are they wearing? Why do these dudes look like they're strippers, Holmes? These vatos look like they're characters from that freaking Magic Mike or whatever.
And the undefeated interim champ.
Right, so I don't know if you guys saw, but Barbosa slapped Teo's hat off because Teo was wearing a cowboy hat. Yet, he grew up in New York, didn't he? I went to New York last year, Holmes. I didn't really see many cowboy hats, but all right. He's rocking a cowboy hat. Handle yours. So if you guys see right here, he's about to slap the cowboy hat off.
He's ready for this moment.
The takeover, Lopez.
Right
and
there.
the undefeated interim champ, Arnold Barboza Jr. It's all for the WBO Super Lightweight World Championship.
Look at Oscar. Oh, man, dog. Yeah, you heard that sucker, too. You heard that. Shouts to Arnold Barbosa, man. I got a lot of respect for the city of El Monte.
It's all for the WBO Super Lightweight World Championship.
You could hear this sucker right here. Damn.
Oh, the bad blood didn't.
Hey, that security dude, whoever he is, if you guys see, he actually picked up Arnold and carried him off the stage. See that big dude? He just grabbed, he's grabbing Arnold right here. He actually picks him up off of his feet.
Oh, the bad blood didn't exist between these two. It does now.
The triple header.
Oh, that's good stuff. Oh, that's good stuff, man. That's some damn good stuff. But yeah, man, I mean, The bad blood between those two guys, man, is making it very exciting. Ramirez versus Haney. Ramirez saying that moving up to 147 is gonna, bring a whole new energy to him. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it does, right? Because I don't think I'm alone when I say that Ramirez kind of looks done, man. But he's saying that, well, boiling down to 140 was hurting him. So let's see what happens at 147, man. He's always a calm, cool, collective dude, very respectable Vato, man. So I'll give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. But however, we all know what the plan is, and the plan is to make Haney versus Garcia rematch. So Ramirez needs to know that he needs to dominate this fight. He needs to dominate. He cannot just barely win this fight. He cannot win this fight 7-5 because they're not going to give it to him. Heck, if they gave the fight to Haney over Lomachenko, I mean, come on, dog. Ramirez needs to go in there with that mentality that he needs to destroy or dominate this fight in order for them to give him the victory. And of course, Ryan versus Rolly, I'm calling it right now. That's probably going to be knockout of the year, and I think that might be the last time we hear of Rolly Romero, especially at this magnitude. But hey, man, it's been fun. I mean, these press conferences, it's not even just the two fighters sticking to their opponent. I mean, you got all these guys getting into it. I mean, Ramirez isn't getting into it with anybody, but I mean, you got Haney, you got Ryan, you got Tio, you got all these guys getting into it with one another, man, and it's fun. It's fun. This is what boxing needs: a good shot in the arm here in the good old US of A, baby. It needs a nice little shot in the arm for something like this, for something to build up like this. And I think it's going to be a good showing. I do. I think it's going to be some pretty fun fights to watch. I don't think any of them are going to be fights of the year. But Barboza versus Teal, I think that's going to be a pretty good fight. Barboza's kind of a boring guy. He talks a lot and everything like that on how much of a badass he is, but his fighting style is not that great. I mean, fan-friendly. Teal, I've said this before about Teal, dog. When he's on it, when Teal is on it, when Teofimo, when he is on his A game, he looks unbeatable. When he's on his A game, which is far and few in between. When he's on his A game, he looks like an elite fighter. But that's the thing. You don't know what Teal you're going to get in the ring. Because other times, what's up, Demetrio? Other times he gets into that ring and it's like, dog, hold on. What happened to that dude we just saw 2 fights ago, man? So that's what I'm saying. Hopefully, Teal, all this bad blood, hopefully it puts him in that space where he needs to be, that brings out the best out of him. Because when he's got that eye of the tiger, when he is on his A game, he is an elite fighter. When he's on his A. Teal is too inactive. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing, man. It's been a while since he fought. He's with a new training camp or getting some more help in his training camp. So we'll see what happens. And there seems to be some sort of hot water between him and Ryan Garcia. They kind of went back and forth about it because they're supposed to be in the same camps. Yet, I don't know who's going to be in their corner because Canelo fights the very next night out in Saudi. So I don't know who's going to be in their corner. Ramirez versus Haney. That's probably going to be the most boring fight on this card, but you know, it's still going to be somewhat decent, man. I'd like to see what Ramirez got. If he's telling the truth that the weight was really the problem, and I could somewhat believe it. Ramirez is a pretty respectable, you know, honorable guy. I'll take his word. And we've seen it before, you know, when fighters, when they move up in weight, it's like, okay, good, man, because that was depleting me, man. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. And obviously, Ryan versus Rolly Romero, I'm telling you guys right now, that's probably going to be knockout of the year. Anyway, I got to go ahead. I got to tap up out of here. I jumped on here tonight because we are not going to be live tomorrow. David's busy. I'm busy. So, you know, hopefully Mikey could go do something on his channel. You guys go check out my boy Mike Zavala, man. Mike Netlo on Mikey TV 365. Hopefully he could go live and do something on his end. But yeah, we will not be live tomorrow. So, and also Edgar Berlanga fights over the weekend, this weekend, man. He's in the undercard. So, I mean, I'll be watching it. I got a freaking birthday party to go to, so I'll probably have to watch that on Sunday. But if anything happens, if it gets canceled or whatever happens, man, I'll probably go live to call the fight, man, and have a couple of Beastos here. It's been a while since I've had a drink or two, so I'm due for a drink, especially since what the New York State Athletic Commission, what their ruling was. Yeah, I should have a drink or two. All right, chingonas, man. If not, I'll be back next week. Despensa, there is no live tomorrow. You guys have a great weekend, man. Enjoy the fights. Enjoy the pump up to all the fights, especially this Fatal Fury that I'm really, really, really digging to. It's gonna be badass, man. All right, man. Hey, whatever you guys do this weekend, be safe doing it so we can come back and do it again. Cholo Truckers, Tres Chingones Boxing. Shout out to all the chingones y chingonas. Catch you guys all next round.